Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chanman's Videos. Today I just want to make a really short video to talk very briefly about building the third-party Dragon Momoko Testament Gundam. So I'm actually really early in the stages. I did not get to start on the weekend as I had planned. Here's what we've built so far. This part is loose for now. But here's what it looks like. And the reason I wanted to make this video is because I wanted to just tell people right away, this kit is not for beginners. Not because of the parts being complicated or anything like that, but because of the plastic they use. Now that I've started cutting and building, most of the plastic that I've started cutting, like the inner frame, is hard, but it's a different hardness and firmness compared to Bandai plastic. And so what I've noticed with every piece that I've had to cut off a tree is that instead of getting nub marks, which being hard, and when you cut the plastic, the stress is what causes the white nub marks. This is a softer plastic. It's harder than the polycaps, but definitely softer than the Bandai standard plastic. And so what you're going to need, aside from your cutter, you're going to need a really sharp knife. And I'll show you why. We actually don't get nub marks with this. We get a lot of flash. Flash being just the extra plastic sticking out from the cuts, and you can't file it because it's too soft. So we end up having to use the blade of the knife and slowly carve and cut off the extra flash. So I'm going to do a step up here in the top corner, and I'm going to cut the silver piece, which is K211. Where are you? K211. Right here. I'm just going to cut it off the camera here. And actually with this one I noticed I can cut fairly close to the piece itself, and because of the soft plastic you don't have nub marks. So let's focus. Will you focus? Hey. So that might look like a nub sticking out. However, if I lay it flat, I'm use a tweezer. See that flash? It's actually on the back. So when I cut it, the plastic actually flexed from the top and bent backwards, creating flash, and instead of see the flash there. So I'm gonna need a knife to cut that off, and it's gonna be hard to do in front of a camera. Just gonna do this. See if this helps the camera focus. So I'm going to try and carve that off. Again, I cut from the top, but the plastic came back to the back side of it. And my knife is sharp. I hope I don't cut my finger. Actually, sorry, because of the depth of the camera, it's hard for me to cut, so I might have to move it off camera for a very brief moment. Tweezers. No, too hard to focus, sorry. But yeah, it get basically after each piece I cut, I have to use the knife and cut the excess flash off the plastic, and I gotta do it very slowly. So that's the main reason why I really recommend being an intermediate skill level to build this, just because the extra work, and you have to be gentle with the cuts. You don't want to overcut it and take a chunk out of the plastic, but if you don't cut it, it's not going to be very nice. So yeah. But I mean, the detail and the quality of the panel lines, and like inside, see inside, I'm gonna see if I can make the light. You can see the cockpit, the pilot seat in there nicely. So there's a lot of detail, that's for sure. But, and another thing is, the pieces fit together very snug, very tight. I had to use a lot more effort to insert pieces together than I normally would. So you know, again, with beginners, Bandai kits can be forgiving with the ability to be able to, you know, pull the pieces apart and fix it. With this one, I really doubt I'd be able to pull the pieces apart because they're that tight. And I mean, that can be a good thing. During my Grace Ritter build, I was unlucky, and this piece here that goes in, it doesn't fit. I had to put a glaze of clear nail polish to tighten up and give it a bit more room, but it was basically just going in and flopping out, going in and flopping out. Versus my other Graze Ritter with my Carta, when you put it in, it pops in, and you can hear like a little snap or click. This one, nothing. I took a drill, I drilled it, I tried to sand the inside to make it a little bit bigger. It just would not fit in nicely, so I ended up having to you actually might be able to see the shimmer of the nail polish. Put that in, let it dry, and give it just some more volume, some more mass, so that it fit in better. It was just terrible, but now it's pretty good. And here is the shoulder piece. Put some weathering on the side, put some weathering down, and I really like how it looks. It's turned out fairly nice. Yeah. Oh yeah, I also needed to put that same clear nail polish here, because when I inserted the arm, it was really loose. It was just like flinging around and couldn't hold anything. So it took a bit of work. Right now, because I just put that on maybe an hour ago, gonna let it dry some more. I will make pictures, videos comparing the two, and just doing a show off of the Graze Ritter later this week. But thanks again for watching. If you have any questions about how this build is going, please leave in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. I'm really impressed with the level of detail, but yeah, the plastic is a little bit hard to work with. I'm probably going to take the silver parts off and give them a coat of silver paint. The inner frame I'm not going to do. It's going to be mostly covered anyway, so I'm not going to focus too much on the inner thing, but anything that's going to be sticking out and going to be very visible is where I'll probably put the effort on the paint. Alright, thanks again for watching, guys. See you again soon.